Hey guys, so I'm not really sure how the response to the video I'm going to make now is and what it's going to be like, but I've been talking to a lot of people recently and I suppose been getting a lot of questions about gender and sexual identity and even things like personal pronouns. There's a lot of things that people don't know about these, and I'm not an expert by any means, but I thought I would maybe make a video and just try and explain some of these terms or terminology that you personally or other people might not know. So first I want to start by saying that I've had a lot of people tell me recently that there is no difference between sex and gender, when really they're two completely different things. Sex is the sex you were born with, so what's in between your legs. So my sex would be female, but gender is what's in your head. It's how you personally identify. The problem with this is in society today we have two genders. We have male and female. For me, I'm cisgendered, so the gender in my head matches up with the sex that I was born with. But for some people, so say you were born with female reproductive organs, you may not feel that that matches up with what's in your head. In your head, you're male, therefore you'd be classed as transgender in society today, and you would be classed as male. There are lots of different types of people and there's lots of different genders. There's male, female, gender non-binary, which is, I suppose, where you feel you have characteristics of both male and female. It doesn't mean that you're a hermaphrodite or whatever. It just means that you fit into both of these genders, which society's made up today. There's androgynous, which is where you feel like you don't really fit into either of the genders, or you fit into both, or a bit more of one than the other. And people have this stereotype that these people who are absolutely amazing people, I've got some amazing gender non-binary, androgynous, transgender friends, are going to be gay or bi or weird or have different views on things, when really they're just normal people who identify themselves slightly differently than maybe how you identify. So you could identify as cisgendered. There's also this stereotype that these kinds of people will, I don't like saying kinds of people, but these people in this community will stereotype you if you go near them, and they'll kind of get annoyed at you if you speak to them using, so say he, if they identify as gender non-binary or transgender. So they may feel, if they're MTF, that if you say he, they're not passing as the gender which they feel they are. To kind of help this, I would say ask people what personal pronouns they prefer. So there's he, his, she, hers, and ze and their. And the last two are more for people who either feel they're gender non-binary, androgynous, transgender, but some transgender people prefer them. It really depends on the person. And if you just ask a normal person and you're 99.999% sure that they're a guy, which personal pronouns they prefer, I'm sure that they wouldn't get annoyed at you. I wouldn't mind if someone asked me what personal pronouns I prefer. If I have a hoodie on and I have short hair, I'd understand. It isn't being mean to someone, and it isn't asking them something that they wouldn't want to hear. All it is trying to get a better understanding of them as a person before you jump into, you know, getting to, you know, having a relationship with them, no matter what kind of relationship that is. As well as this, I want to talk about sexuality, because I've had a lot of questions asked to me by my friends, by people who I've met on the internet, about so my specific sexuality. I identify as a lesbian or gay, so as a female I'm just attracted to other females, but there's a lot of different ways that people identify as their sexual identity. There's straight, so a man who only is interested in women, or a woman who's only interested in men. There's bisexual, which I feel gets a lot of stigma, as people think it's just a phase. Bisexuality is where you are attracted to male and females. It doesn't mean that you're confused. It doesn't mean you don't know what you want. It doesn't mean you're a slut. It just means that you like men and women. It's as simple as that. There's so many different sexual identities. There's pansexual, which is where you're not attracted to pans. It's where you're attracted to anybody. You don't care what they've got down there, what gender they identify as. You could be attracted to men, women, transgender, MTF, FTM, androgynous, gender non-binary. The list goes on. Really, you're only attracted to someone for the person they are inside, and not what they've got down there. Just a quick note to say that I hope this has helped anybody who has asked me about this, or doesn't know about any of these terms. I'm sorry if I explain them wrong to anybody who would know more than me, because I'm not an expert by any means in this area. I'm just going by experience with my friends who identify as gender non-binary and transgender, and things that I personally have experienced. I'm sorry this has been a bit of a long video to anybody who just kind of watched me sing before, and anyone maybe from my school who sees it, or things like that. But I hope that this will help you or anybody else who sees this get a better understanding of terminology, gender, sexual identity, and just kind of how you don't have to fit into society's little bubble that they have of what they want you to be. You can be whatever you want to be. If your sex is a female but you want to dress like a guy, or dress how, you know, society thinks guys dress, so, you know, hoodies or baggy clothes, but still identify as a girl, then brilliant, cool, do it. If you identify as transgender, brilliant, high five, pat on the back. If you're straight and a man or a woman, brilliant, you know, carry on with your daily life. I just feel that this subject isn't talked about enough, especially with younger people, so people my age, and that people don't really have an understanding of what society thinks and how kind of specific it is, and how that really it shouldn't be like that. It should be that everybody, each to their own, everybody should be who they want to be, regardless of labels or what you want them to be. I hope this has helped. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down there in the comments. If I've got something wrong, please correct me, as I'm not transgendered or gender non-binary, and I know there's lots of in between, which I haven't talked about. I suppose I've just tried to talk about the specific ones, which I know about. Thank you guys, and just, I suppose, think before you say things to people, and I will try and post another video maybe about this if anybody wants me to. Thank you guys, and bye.